All right, we're live. And I don't know where to begin. I'm a little fed up and disappointed, disgusted, infuriated, inspired, dedicated, focused. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So, if you can't gather from the title, I am pro humanity, and that's not like some stupid slogan or anything like that. Because I feel a lot of things in mainstream media are less information and more slogans and more propaganda. And it sounds like a broken record. It sounds like a conspiracy theorist. But in the past 4 months, it has proven so, painfully so. And I think the powers that be, these big government people and lobbies, think they can get away with it because I think they thrive on the assumption and belief of how fickle the audience, the people, they treat it like an audience, like a show. The people are like, we'll get distracted by the next thing, or everything is trendy. We don't care about what happens in the world. And a lot of us in these privileged Western countries that we live in, I do notice a lot of people who are like that. There's more people who care, and essentially everyone cares. Essentially everyone is good, and bad people require that access to the goodness in people's hearts to be blocked off or denied, because if everyone really did care, there'd be none of this going on. But we have fueled prejudice, we have fueled ignorance, and we have fueled hatred. It's encouraged and institutionalized through prejudice and racism. Really. But I'm kind of going all over the place. So, first off, I am for free Palestine. And for the last time, I wish it's the last time. I feel like we're a broken record. But what free Palestine means is people who are Palestinian in the land they live in, they deserve equal rights and freedom. This demographic of people in Palestine, now occupied by this terrorist state Israel, that's not a hot take, that's a fact. They are the occupiers. They have a responsibility for the people they occupy to take care of. But within their laws, including the one Finkelstein highlights, the law of mowing the lawn, where they can kill as many Palestinians as they want annually, is really messed up. Occupation is not freedom. And it is an apartheid state. It's been labeled and known as such for a long time. But in Western media, that's hidden because a lot of the lobbyists are in support of that terrorist state. And they have a lot of their hands in our politicians' pockets. Or they have the politicians in their pockets because, they're paying them. And there's a lot of their influence in the world of entertainment, which those two things are very powerful. Pen is mightier than the sword, and they're relying on the fact that if they believe it, whatever it is that they want to sell you on, that a whole group of people, because they're Arab, they're terrorist, that's the bullshit that they want you to buy. And they will sell you on it, and they'll keep selling it. And maybe for the record, they want it to have put out there so long that the lie becomes the truth. I think that's the goal. Because this is more of a venting. When I get my news set up, I'll show you guys more information, because there's going to be a part 2 to this. I just had to put something out. before the weekend comes, because I saw a couple things unsettling come my way all this week. But so yeah, making the point, free Palestine means the people in the land that is known as Palestine, that is advertised as Israel right now, those people deserve equal rights and freedom. They don't have it. They don't have it. And the abuse that's done to the people is wrong. I don't like hostages. Hostages is a bad thing. Okay? No one who's for free Palestine is for hostages, because there's thousands to the billions of Palestinian hostages. Gaza is an open-air prison, ladies and gentlemen. It's been known as an open-air prison. They have no control of airspace, water, or electricity. That's controlled by the occupier. They are facing famine and starvation from the occupier. And this has been discovered officially by the International Court of Justice that this is a genocide. And after that ruling, what happens? They kill 2,000 plus more civilians. And then we have goombas and idiots like Matthew Miller saying, okay, 4 months saying, okay, we've been talking to Israel. We've had talks to minimize civilian casualties. Oh, talks, really? The civilian casualties have continued, escalated. And I saw a report now that they're now investigating in the possible usage of white phosphorus salts, when we have seen proof at the ICJ, which funny, when they were showing the proof of what Israel is doing, it wasn't televised here. But when Israel was on the stand to show their proof, that was televised here. Hilarious, right? Good thing your boy Kojay watches more news. Shout out to my boy Hitomi. Hitomi, you are welcome to join me, by the way. Just let me know. I'll DM you a link. But you don't have to. See, ladies and gentlemen, my mods also have a lot of VIP access to join me on live shows when it's available. And I'm down, and I am. Hey, all right. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll send it your way. I think you just let me know where to send it to, like Discord or all the other apps we go through. It's a breath of fresh air that I'm not the only one sharing information about this or how I feel. Really, this is more reactionary. I'll show details on the next video, like I said, the next live of this that we have to do. So Matthew Miller is saying all this stuff of we're in talks with them to minimize civilian casualties. So America is talking to Israel about minimalizing civilian casualties after 25,000 civilians. That's actually less than the actual number. Plus have been killed. Ladies and gentlemen, the civilians are being targeted. If you watch the rest of my other videos, I've already gone over this. They have made statements and they have quotes. The fact that they are going to kill everyone, leave Gaza desolate, ruined of an island or whatever. That's been their goal. And then Netanyahu, this vile villain, had the audacity to say that they are very successful in this, that they killed 20,000 terrorists. As we've seen the numbers, these are civilians, which goes to prove that that idiot Nikki Haley, who said that how are they going to find the difference with a terrorist and a Palestinian. You can't figure it out. She said something like that. Don't quote me on that, but she said that, and a lot of other people in political areas of power have said shit like that, which is racist as hell. So, since you can't tell the difference, you're just gonna kill everybody. So we have the United States government saying that they're going to investigate on white phosphorus salts being used, which is illegal as hell. And among all the other things that they're doing, they're going to investigate it when the investigation of all these things have already happened and the proof has been out there. And we, the people, have been calling it out. It's like, look, they're using white phosphorus. Even this Israeli sources I've been getting information from, which is actually telling, because a lot of it is gloating to the other side of the world. The Middle Eastern world, they get a different side of Israel where they gloat about all this stuff. And when you watch it, it's like, oh my gosh, they have no shame. So our American government is going to be investigating something that has already been known worldwide. Did our government downsize the intelligence department? Because right now it's non-existent. Also, another thing I didn't like about what Netanyahu said is that he's like, we've been successfully doing whatever, and we've got 116, 117. I have to look at the numbers again, but it's around that ballpark of Israeli hostages free. That hostage exchange happened during a ceasefire, not this bloody campaign that they want for absolute victory. When you hear Netanyahu say victory, or you read a quote, just replace victory with genocide, and then that's spot on the truth. You know, you don't need any telepathy to read that guy's mind. Ooh. And it's very, 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 very annoying and frustrating. And I've said this in my other videos that powers, our government, will be interested in the truth and focusing on the truth after they get what they want, after they kill as many Palestinians as they like and they get access to that land. They're already gloating about what they're going to build there. And Biden in the beginning posted about his oil rig or oil little thing on the waters right there. It's in my other videos. Because a lot of this is a broken record that I'm sounding like right now. Also, another thing I saw that I did not like. Now, I've been going to the protests, and I've noticed these individuals who don't look like they want to be there. They're dressed in black. And hell yeah, Hitomi. Where should I send the invite link to? All right, Hitomi to say that. But yo, the thing is, I've seen sketchy individuals at our protests not cheering anything, just having an angry look, like so, dressed in black, and on the side of their pockets, they have like a little med kit, like safety aid thing. And I saw on Instagram, and I'll try and take time to look at this and share with you, but they've been looking at other posts for pro-Palestine protests, and they're saying that they're looking to infiltrate it and start shit. Now, if you pro-Israel people are so on the good side, why would you have to go to the lengths to infiltrate a protest to make it look bad? These are all actions of the villains, and that's the main thing I want to get out. So I am going to send a wonderful link to my wonderful good friend, Hitomi Haruko. I love this guy, and you should too. As soon as I find my link here. So hang tight, and thank you for being here. God bless you. And another thing I want to say about the whole stance is that Free Palestine is for peace. We're against genocide on anyone. Free Palestine doesn't need genocide of any human being. And I remember the story of when some in history we've seen or we've heard that the issue with letting the slaves free is that they'll go and kill all the white people. Did that happen? Come on. So now that's the argument that for freedom, other people have to die. No, freedom is for everybody. Everybody. I only hate well, I disagree and I can't stand murderous people. I can't stand that. And the side that is anti-pro-Palestine is for that. I got log in here. Give me a second. Sorry, bro. There we go. There we go. And there we go. A little pause for station identification, like and subscribe. This is the talk show part, and I'm going to do more of these as well. So look forward to that. Oh, there you are. And invite is sent. This isn't going to be a long show tonight. I just want to say what I feel is necessary, and we have an honored guest coming on. And yeah, this is expressive eventing time. I don't know. I feel like every day there should be a miracle happening that I'll wake up one day and find out that there is a ceasefire. The people are free in Gaza and West Bank to operate without the occupation and prejudice and control of the terrorist state of Israel. They could just be on their own. And other good countries and all countries of the world should be helping them rebuild for Palestine. I saw another thing. I actually did not know what this word was, but Pallywood. Now, I'm a fan of Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, Punjabi films, and every now and then I'll check out a Bengali film. And as far as that Desi entertainment goes, I like it. So I looked up the term Pallywood, and apparently it is a term for the belief that everything you see from witnesses and all the terror is Palestinians putting on a show to fake what's happening to them. This is the most disgusting, racist, prejudiced, hateful word I've ever discussed. Once I found out what it meant, that's what it became. And I'm disgusted and shocked. But not surprised. I don't understand how saying it's wrong to kill children and innocent men and women and people should be free. I don't understand how that message offends someone. How would that offend anyone? Oh, I should get my headset on. How is this going to be an echo? And here we go. By the way, I am very happy to see my brother Hitomi. I'm very excited. This is actually a gift. This is like the highlight, the only positive thing of what's going on. Other than Queen Amanana won her match. And Hitomi Haruko.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Very clear.
That's
Yo, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
this is spur of the moment, so I really have no plans except.
I love spur of the moment things, but I was on YouTube and I saw you were streaming this, and I've been
Hey.
seeing on like I've been seeing on Twitter recently, like I don't know if you know this actor. His name is Michael Rappaport. He's like a comedian and an
Oh
actor.
yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
him.
yeah. He's been on Twitter, just posting so much anti-Palestine messages. Like he's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I think he went to he did it was propaganda basically. He went to Israel. He's been posting all these propaganda pieces. He's been trying to stop the college protesters. And there've been a lot. I guess there've been a lot of protests at his own comedy shows now. So just really disgusting stuff that I've been
You know
seeing.
what? If I
These
remember the name but not the face, and I'm sure it'll click like
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what movies he's been in because he's been in a couple. I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember, but I know he's like a comedian as well. And
Mm.
yeah, he's been going back and forth at it with oh my desk, with anyone who is opposed to Israel's little genocide. He thinks is like calls him anti-Semitic. You know, all the usual talking pieces. Because you can't stand against this because it just makes you an anti-Semite. Like that makes sense.
Apparently.
Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot of that recently. I've also been seeing people's posts getting taken down when they speak up against this stuff, which is so strange to me because the stuff people post about it's not like they're not saying anything hateful. They're not saying anything that they're not calling for any sort of violence. Most of them are specifically calling against any more violence. And
Exactly.
you have these big social media companies, Meta especially, and Twitter. I've seen it on Twitter a couple times. Facebook, which I guess is the same as Meta, Instagram, Facebook, that umbrella. But
Oh yeah. It's hit me too. I've been
yeah,
shadow banned, and a lot of my 7 of my posts have been taken down. And because I like to follow a lot of interesting stuff, especially on Instagram, and I'll be like, follow. But as soon as I follow anyone who's of Arab ethnicity and pro-Palestine, after 3 follows, all of a sudden I'm blocked and said, you can't follow people anymore. We're restricting it.
They've taken down a few of your posts though too. I've seen.
Yeah, they have.
This entire thing is like, I'm not surprised by how disgusting humanity can get. I'm just surprised that we're seeing something in real time because you hear people talk about events like this all the time, like slavery, the Holocaust, all these past events that happened, and people reference them all the time. And they're seeing a repeat of that stuff happen before their very eyes, and most of them are just choosing to be silent about it, not do anything about it, and even worse, silencing voices of people that are trying to speak out against this. And again, I'm not really surprised, but I guess I'm just more disgusted, more disappointed.
That's a good word, disgusted and disappointed. I'm surprised. I thought, honestly, like when I did the first videos of this, or when I first saw what was going on, like I was on vacation. I went on a cruise with family October 7th, and the Wi-Fi was horrible. So I only saw something bad happen, and some friends were crying, and I said, oh, hang in there. Da, da, da. And then the next day, I found out what happened, and I also read that what happened was refuted. So then I went on with my vacation. Now that's cool. Then when I got back and checked on what's going on in the world, or towards the end, I see nothing happening, just more people getting killed.
Yeah.
More civilians being targeted, literally targeted.
Yeah.
Like the human shield excuse is like a human shield. I expected just like South Park. The civilian is there and the enemy is behind him, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But no, you have snipers shooting nurses at Al Shifa Hospital. That's pretty like, we play a lot of multiplayer games. Sniping takes some time.
Right.
It's very, very deliberate. You got a freaking scope that can see into the whites of someone's eyes miles away, or whatever.
Well, that's the big thing to remember here is the language. I think language is strong. It's such a strong thing to sway people's opinion. Like when someone says human shield, the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, well, they got caught in the crossfire or something like that. But then you look into it, it's like, no, that's not what happened. This person was deliberately selected, and they were essentially assassinated for no reason at all. And another thing they like to use is the self-defense. Oh, we're just defending ourselves. Oh, this is all in self-defense. And then you see soldiers dancing on TikTok, doing TikTok dances, making light of all the victims of this terrible tragedy. Oh, self-defense, huh? That's great. Self-defense. Self-defense is to say that, Israel is defending itself is like, it's basically like, say you were assaulted by somebody. Say you were assaulted by somebody, and then that person, I mean, it's on camera. Everyone saw. There's hundreds of witnesses. It's in 4K, and that person goes to court, and they're like, "No, I was just defending myself." How would that make you feel? Just think if now imagine an entire people going through that in real time for everyone to see in the age of the internet, where there's no hiding from this. Like, this is the reality of the situation. And then you have all these people going all the way up top, governments, officials, presidents that are just like, we're wiping our hands with this. Nope. We want nothing to do with this, and benefiting off of it as well. I mean, why do you think the United States hasn't really done anything besides support what's going on? Because they benefit off this stuff. They're the biggest war criminals in the history of the world. This is how they make their bread and butter, and it's honestly disgusting.
Yeah, 2 years of killing innocent people in Afghanistan to later, we got Osama bin Laden in Pakistan with like a special unit force.
Yeah,
couldn't have done it from the beginning,
right? Yeah, and then look, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that everyone has the answers. I'm not saying I have the answers.
Sure.
Answers.
Fair.
But I'm saying that this is not anyone trying to paint this as anything more than a black and white issue is wrong. It's a very black and white issue. People are being massacred. Innocent people are being massacred. We know who's doing it. Why aren't we stopping it?
Yep. That is it. That's the broken record question every single day, every hour. It's so documented by millions of eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
And there's like when celebrities or other people that I see say, there's two sides to the story, and it's like there is no gray area. Like in other conflicts, sure, there's a gray area, like in other world conflicts, sure. But I don't see the gray area here. I don't see it at all. I don't see how you can paint this as anything other than we are witnessing a genocide in real time being perpetrated by a group of people, some very evil people, and being funded by other governments, other people in power and influence. This is essentially what we're seeing. And instead of doing something about it, there's a group of people that are more concerned with being in the right and being superior.
Justified?
Yes, justified. Exactly. That's it. Justified. There's a group of people that are more concerned with being justified than doing what is actually right, than being good people.
You said it right there, man.
Shinjiro burns my nose. Sorry.
That's strong. I got it. I hope I wasn't being rude, but you said the thing about self-defense, the strategy of self-defense, and I try and share all these videos on my Instagram, even though it's I'm trying to build my own content and audience. Being shadow banned doesn't help, but I feel this is important. So it's like a cliff notes of a bunch of stuff everyone could look into. I'm very proud of that because I think awareness is important.
Yes.
And I found Benjamin Ferencz. Sorry if I screwed up his name. I'm just going to play the audio because I don't want to do the share screen. This computer sucks. I'm getting a new one, so it's going to be all good. But you can hear what he says.
What do you mean, self-defense? Nobody attacked Germany. Germany attacked Poland, Russia, France, Belgium, Holland, Sweden, Norway. Where's your self-defense? He said. But we knew that the Soviet Union intended to attack us, and therefore we had to attack them first to preempt an attack against us. And why did you kill all the Jews? Well, everybody knows the Jews were sympathetic to the Bolsheviks, and so you had to kill them too. And why did you kill all the children? Well, if we eliminated the parents, the children would grow up and they would be enemies of the Reich as well. So we were interested in the long-term security of our country, and therefore we had to kill the children too. And I have to say it's perfectly logical.
So that was you can see the post on my Instagram. I'll put in the details below. But that was for a Nuremberg prosecutor who described in a minute how Nazis framed mass murder of children and genocide as an act of self-defense. And we're seeing that very same strategy and logic used today in real time. And I'm shocked at how many Americans, and I'm sure people in the UK feel the same way, are buying into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did everyone skip out on history class? Was that the one to ditch school on? What's going on?
Especially considering that Americans love to call everybody Nazis. I know that's what really has me confused about this, because that's like their go-to thing is calling people Nazis. Anyone, they have a slight agreement with, they call them a Nazi.
It became so loose and casual to use that even at work. Like if one boss was so strict, it was like, oh,
yes, you call your boss a Nazi. Yes.
It was so casual, but now it's literal and it's scary and it's a lot, man.
I'm like, honestly, it's I just don't know how we as a people can sit by and watch this, like, anywhere in the world, sit by and watch this happen. And like, God forbid, Israel does succeed in their disgusting little
ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. God forbid they do. I mean, that's going to be it. I mean, we're like, as I say, history is written by the people, by the victors, and that's basically what they're going to do, because they're doing.
I think that's what they're gutting for.
Yeah, yeah.
As soon as they wipe out a place, turn the place into a beautiful Overwatch future map of a vacation spot, have a bunch of Americans go there, have a great time, yay, and then define and write out and delete stuff like we're in Texas or something, eliminating books, and hopefully they hopefully think that they'll just wash the details away and get away with it, distract us with glorious stuff or whatever.
I don't know if you saw on TikTok, there were some Israel accounts on TikTok. They were one of the cities that they destroyed. They made like an AI image, and they were like, "Oh, this is what you guys could have had. This is what the Palestinians could have had."
Really?
Yes. I'm like, what in the?
That's gross, man.
Yeah, that's actually disgusting. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but
no. This is my channel. You can swear as much as you fucking want.
But yeah, when I saw that, it actually made my blood boil just seeing that. Like, just the idea of that. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure all those dead children and women are thinking about what a paradise it could have been as you're making AI images to post on TikTok. Right.
I don't think they care at all, because they've made the statements that children are not even innocent.
Yeah, I've seen that. Which I don't even. I mean, these people are being separated from their families. They're being separated from, people that raised them, people they trust. These families are being destroyed. I mean, some of them, they don't have anywhere else to go because, hey, some stupid Israeli soldier just bombed their house. Where are they supposed to go? Well, the child's not innocent. What does a child have to do with any of this? And so to speak, what does most of the Palestinians have to do with this besides just existing? And I guess in their mind, that's wrong to just exist and just be on your own land in your own body.
What's the most infuriating thing of this catastrophe was for you?
I saw a video. I saw this video, and I forgot where it took place, but it was the aftermath of it. It was a huge. I mean, it was like you see in those, in those like those post-apocalyptic movies where it's just like everything is like it's just like everything is just toppled. It's just debris. The clouds are smoky. The skies are cloudy and everything, and it's just like it was something right out of one of those things. And there were these guys in this video, and you have all these innocent civilians. They're all comforting each other, right? They're all coming together because their houses are gone, their city is gone. They don't have anything else now except each other, so they're coming together. And in the crossfire, there is there's a bunch of like just even there's a bunch of bodies. One of the people goes up to their, I guess it was their friend, and he just starts the guy's not moving. I mean, he's not like he's, I don't know. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but he's DEAD, and his friend is just cradling his head, in his arms, and he's like screaming out and he's crying out. He's crying out in Arabic, and when I saw that, I mean, it's sick that something like that even has to be, one, filmed, and two, posted for people to realize just how terrible this entire thing is. But I think when I saw that, is like, because to a lot of these guys, everything. I mean, they had everything a week ago. They had everything 1 second, and then now it's gone. 1 second, you think you'll see tomorrow, and the next, your best friend is in your arms as a corpse because of some very morally reprehensible, evil, disgusting people and their disgusting agenda and their, insatiable desire to just be in control. And that video, I posted on my Facebook page. I did post it on my Facebook page. But yeah, I think that video is probably the most disgusting thing. I mean, it's really hard to say because I feel like every day it just gets progressively worse for me anyway. But I think that right there is like, that's what really, sunk it in for me. Like, why are we not helping these people? Why are we not helping these people? They need our help, and we're just
giving more ammunition to the occupiers who are shooting them.
Exactly.
What an answer. And as I was saying earlier on with Matthew Miller saying, we're talking to them and are expressing heavy importance and taking caution.
It's a lot of propaganda.
Blatantly too, I feel.
Yeah, it's
unforgivingly, shamelessly blatant.
And it's like
it's like, you would see those movies like RoboCop, and then there'd be like a mockumentary like commercial.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is so over the top baloney.
Yes.
But we're seeing that now at the expense of people's lives.
Exactly. In real life, we're seeing that in real life. And we're seeing people fall for it too, which is just, to me, it's like, we see people fall for that. And then we're seeing people lose their jobs, their livelihoods, because they're standing up against that. I don't understand it. I don't understand how someone can be Like, just make it make sense to me. What is inherently anti-Semitic about, acknowledging that there's a ethnic cleansing, a genocide going on to a group of people, to a disenfranchised group of people? How is that inherently anti-Semitic? Because I've seen a ton of people be called anti-Semitic for voicing that, and no one's explained how it's anti-Semitic. They just say, "Oh, he's an anti-Semite. Oh, he's an anti-Semite."
Like,
Also,
please stop killing children. Oh, you're anti-Semite.
right. Like the actress from Scream, Melissa, I keep forgetting her last name, but she played the lead role alongside Jenna Ortega in the Scream.
Oh yeah.
Scream 6 and 7, I think these are. I lost track of the numbers.
I did.
Yeah, and she voiced her support for Palestine, and she was fired, and she was labeled as an anti-Semite. How? I just don't understand how that would, like, it needs to be explained to me how it makes someone an anti-Semite to just simply condemn what is going on to this disenfranchised group of people. That's not anti-Semitic. That's being human. That's being empathetic. That's being sympathetic. Like, that's just common decency.
It's almost like the insult is the truth of the reality of who the villains and the antagonists are in this real life story of tragedy. And they can't handle that. It goes against the image that they want to sell.
Well, they have one narrative they want to push. And in this narrative, I mean, you see the lengths they'll go to make sure it's the official story. And I still don't know how long this can go on.
Every day feels like way too long, man.
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's like,
see, at first, every horrific footage I saw in the beginning of all this, I was like, oh my gosh, this will wake everyone up. Nothing happened. Oh my gosh, this should wake everyone up. Nothing happened. And it kept going like that to the point where I got discouraged in any hope at all. And that hurts to this day, man.
So why do you think these big corporations like Facebook, Instagram, well, they're owned by the same people, but are like, like X and any other websites that take these things down? Why do you think they do that? What stake do you think they have in silencing dissenters?
I think they're either paid or they have interest in where they will rebuild over Gaza. Because I believe that based on Biden excited for plans of oil companies there. Yeah, specifically that one. And that kind of confirmed but they also they had like an AI made commercial of having a vacation spot in Gaza that was shown on Hulu, either prematurely or whatever. I shared that story too. It looked weird. Like, even saw two Palestinian women with the hijabs like laughing at like a coffee shop or whatever. But it's all AI. You know how it's that froze motion. And that bothered me. And also another Israeli representative, I don't know her name, but I did share it in my Instagram stories, where they're on a boat going along the side of the south area. And they're just looking at the land of Gaza at night going, I'm so excited for the stuff I'm going to build here and everything. And also on Israeli social medias, them sharing new apartment places and beach houses that they'll build around there. And everyone's excited, sharing, getting like thousands to millions of likes and all that. So imagine a guy like Elon Musk, and he's promised a certain area of land and funding to build the kind of utopia he wants with the technology he's investing in. Because I think it was like 2002 in April, he signed something with Israeli Technologies, $1 billion deal to be working exclusively with them or something like that. I went over the details in one of my other videos there. So there's guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also not just that, but the arms race and arms
Right.
dealing business. I've seen reports of Hellfire missiles, the missile, or called ninja missiles, the missile that goes in and it's got blades that come out and shoot.
Yes.
Shit that you think is like in a freaking Doom video game, right? And they get the opportunity to see the damage on actual human civilians instead of some like theory of how bad it could do. There's a market for that. And that's a very rich, high-end corporate market. So there's a lot of money and business made into this destruction. And if they're successful with genocide and taking over that land, all those theme parks, vacation spots, oil companies that they could build, I think they just look at that and they're salivating at what they can invest and build on there for the future. Because as the German homie was saying about Hitler's excuse or reasoning for self-defense and why they had to slaughter so many people was because they were thinking long-term. These people are thinking long-term for their utopia, for their elite people of the Zionist culture. That's what I'm thinking it is. Because Biden went out and said, no, I'm a Zionist. You don't have to be Jewish to be a Zionist. And then everyone's like, oh, no, the president's talking too much. It's like, wow. I mean, in a way, we are kind of blessed for that dude's lack of memory because he's kind of exposed a lot of things all on his own.
Yeah. I
Painfully.
mean, like everything you said is like colonization 101, right? Like it's like you tear down a civilization, you tear down a place, you rebuild it in your own image, you profit off of it, you open up all these, infrastructure that is going to make the rich people richer and the government stronger or whatever. And, at the expense of the people that you sacrifice to get there. And it's just like, that is dystopian. That is the dystopian, stories that they used to write in the 20th century. It's coming here. Like this is how it's done. It's not done through, like the way you see in the movies. It is done through this systematic and the destruction funded by several governments, funded in coercion with, these social media companies, actors,
corporations.
Corporations. Yeah. That's essentially what is. This is a dystopian. And every time you see something like that, where you have like the president, spreading propaganda, you have all these actors who are probably paid, as well to, go to Israel and, oh, look how great. I mean, it's amazing. And, there's nothing wrong is going on. They're not doing anything wrong. They're doing nothing wrong. They're all correct. And, those people are paid, those people they're in the pockets. And again, that kind of influence is very powerful in situations like these. That type of influence is very, very powerful. That's why these people are called influencers. That's why famous people, they're called influencers. People in power, influencers.
It's like their blatant goal.
We've got the president of the United States saying stuff like what you just said. I mean, that says it all. This is gonna make very powerful people even more powerful, and that's why they're allowing it to happen. Unfortunately, and the devil's working overtime in this situation.
I think he's just sitting back enjoying that all these fools doing his dirty work for him.
Unfortunately for him, we're not going down that easy. We're not being silenced that easy.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because as I was saying, the good thing is the amount of people who are voicing up and rising up and calling this stuff out, being kicked out of certain areas. I am proud of every single person who's voicing up. And I am thankful for you jumping on my channel right now live, voicing up. Seriously, thank you so much, man. And thank you for having empathy, intelligence, and a heart. And I always love that I always admire that you've always spoken your truth,
Yeah.
and you've always called out whatever you felt was like. Appreciate your honesty and sincerity, and I've always appreciated your friendship, man. You're a gift to know, and the courage to come out and say this. My mask is off. It's just like, this is serious, and I really, really appreciate you here, man, and just that you care.
I've always been an outspoken individual in my
That's probably
life.
why I like you so much. I love it.
Like even in school, I was always the one guy who was like, "Hold on a minute, everybody, hold on." It's like, I would always be the guy who came up and said what no one else really wanted to say, and sometimes it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes but
yeah.
I think for the most part, when I see injustices going on, my innate reaction is not to justify that, justifying the injustice. My innate reaction is to, you see this disenfranchised group of people, you see what's happening to them, you see it. I mean, we all have access to the same information. It's not like we're getting any different information than anyone else. We, the people outside this situation we're all seeing, what is happening. It's just that a lot of people are choosing to plug their ears, cover their eyes, cover their mouths, and do nothing about it. And even worse, justify what is happening. And that to me that's almost as bad as pulling the trigger, justifying it.
I agree.
Like, it's like you are actively participating in genocide when you do that. And to me, there's no coming back from that. I mean, I've had to end, friendships. I've done follow a lot of people because of stuff like this. And, is it unfortunate? Sure. But at the same time, I really only want to be surrounded by people that are not actively engaging in genocidal behavior and genocidal propaganda. Excuse me. Sorry. But, I have no desire to be around people like that.
It's seriously disgusting, and I have already been cutting out certain people in certain circles from my life who I have found shockingly aggressive about that. I had a friend who I've known for a while. They tell me, why don't I just leave this country and go live there? Which is like the kind of stuff I get. I always get these deported threats from people who racially insult me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so it's beyond shocking. It's like I don't know. Maybe there's a foolish part of me where I assume everyone has the same levels of understanding and empathy and access to information I have. Mm-hmm. And then when things get tested and things get ugly, you see who's really ugly, who's no offense, but I also don't apologize for saying this, but some people are just freaking cowards.
Right.
And they like to go a safe route, so their fancy bubble is nice. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, we'd have to care. That's going to make me feel bad. Mm-hmm. Or they go with something simple so they could dismiss it. But the people who get so offended and attack my character and say that I've heard the most ridiculous thing I've heard is that Hamas is killing all the Palestinians. That's the most, and that was said by the same person too. But I've heard that some people are saying, well, Hamas is killing them. Either they believe the human shield thing, or they believe that they're actually shooting and bombing their own people. And then I hear Israel defense, and they're saying, well, we had to shoot up Hind in the car and all of the paramedics because we believed there was a terrorist among them. So we just shot them all. And really, if you look at the big scope of it, this is Hamas's fault. I even saw this other one of this video.
Gaslighting.
Yes, painful gaslighting. And I saw this other video of one of the hostages who said that they refused to rape her and she felt emotionally raped. And other people are going, oh my gosh, I can't believe they emotionally raped you. I'm like, what world is this? This is why I think the Onion newspaper started being not entertaining, because real life is so way more disgusting, real satire.
Oh,
more over the top than the Onion could ever do. Yeah. And it's real and it's blatant. I'm like, wow.
See, I didn't even know.
Humble.
I didn't even know what the onion. I didn't know what the onion was. And then when I saw their first headline, I just assumed it was real. When I saw first headline from them, I always assumed it was real for the longest time. I'm like, oh, this is
I
satire.
think we're the
But
kings of kayfabe. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, right. I'm just like, oh, this is satire. But like the fact that I could believe that it's real is just. I mean. Again, like you said, the RoboCop stuff. I mean, that stuff is so over the top. The way the propaganda they spend in the movies is like, how could anyone ever believe this? This is not realistic. And then now it is because it's happening, and it's gonna continue to happen, unfortunately. But like the whole self-defense thing. Like, oh, we felt threatened. Like that's not enough. Like that is like the textbook definition of gaslighting. Like, oh, we felt threatened, or oh, we felt there was a terrorist among them. What? So you felt there was a terrorist among them? Assuming that there was, your plan is shoot all these innocent people. Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, you don't get to make that excuse. You don't get to start trying to justify it by saying, oh, this is how we felt. And how about how those people felt? How about how the people you killed felt? How about how their families felt? How do they feel now? And, knowing their track record, I doubt there was even a terrorist at all. They just saw a group of innocent people. They made up a story. And then they executed them. And this is what they run with in the media. And this is how the media reports. This is how they choose to portray it. Because they don't really dispute it anyway in the media. They make no effort to dispute this stuff. They're, they're in cahoots with what's going on. This is why you don't trust the media. And I have to say, it's good. It's a good thing that we have social media now. We have social media, way
more access to independent journalists too.
Yes, exactly. It's a good thing that we have these independent journalists. Good thing that we have these people. A lot of them that are, getting footage from inside of it, from inside of it all, sending it back to us, letting us see with our own eyes, these, again, like the scene I described earlier, the video I described earlier, just to see all this. I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to see it. And, I've seen to be honest with you, I have seen those kind of videos since I was a kid, 11 years old. I think I saw a Mexican cartel behead a woman for cheating on him. But even this is
I've seen those videos too.
Yeah.
I saw one where these two guys and they were known for executing people for the cartel, but another cartel took over them. And so they did a last words video. And the guys were kind of just like, okay, I'm going to die, whatever, do it. And one guy's, I was shocked that I saw this. My girlfriend at the time made me see it, right? One guy his head was chainsawed off. And then another guy was going to get chainsawed off, but it got broken. And then someone took out just a small 6-inch blade and then just took the time to cut his head off. And that was horrific. But at the same time, a part of me was not as shocked because I knew, or I was under the impression that they were bad men. They did this to other people.
Right.
But it's still, there's that empathy there that this is wrong. No one deserves this.
Exactly.
Despite who they were, it was so jarring, and I think it broke a part of my heart for life.
Exactly.
And I see that constantly every hour to innocent men, women, and children daily since this happened. And we just hear from our government, it's like, oh, no, we're talking and making sure they're careful. By the way, we just passed a bill to give them X amount of $1 billion to them. Da-da-da. They rejected at first. You saw that they a few days ago they didn't get the vote to send $1 billion to Israel, but there was another package to send billions of dollars to Taiwan, Ukraine, and Israel. So they managed to send money to Israel in another form, in another package altogether. I had a glimmer of hope when that one was stopped, but then they found another way to get there.
They always do. I mean, that's their end goal, and they're gonna go through any means they can to get that. That is the United States government. That is
Selling out for other governments in other countries, ladies and gentlemen.
That is quite frankly what they love to do, to be honest with you. And
it's very sneaky. That's why when people do vote, I implore people, read everything.
yeah,
Sometimes I have to vote third party because I gotta sleep at night, because sometimes they're just two sides of the same coin.
yeah, I've been disillusioned to that for a while, and I used to be on that spectrum of red versus blue. Now it's just like, who? I mean, because like they all have the same end goal, and that is power at the expense of the citizens of the country. And I can't say with confidence that there is anyone in the government that really has the interests of the people in mind. They have the interests of what they can do to strengthen the government, the budget, their funds, their pockets. Because those politicians, they are freaking rich. They are rich.
Even if they don't get the presidency, they got a good money.
Yes, they're billionaires. It's like, how? How? Because they do these deals. They do these under the table deals. They do favors for each other.
And the bonus checks from the lobbies.
Yep, and the lobbies. Yep, the lobbies as well. And those lobbies are very powerful.
Yeah, dude, the amount of money they put out from lobbies. I mean, we could restore the Snyderverse, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah, my expectations for the U.S. government were low, but holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, now, I marched for same-sex marriage because I found something dodgy they were doing. I would like you to do me a favor. I would like you to look up HR 8404. And I would like you to read the definition of this amendment.
Okay.
That I proudly helped pass.
HR 8404, the Respect for Marriage Act, establishes statutory authority for same-sex and interracial marriages and repeals provisions of law that once prevented any state or territory from being required to give effect to a same-sex marriage from another state or territory.
Now, you saw interracial.
Yes.
That was going to be regulated if people didn't get to pass the same-sex marriage law, because I saw that was inserted along with them. When I was reading up on why so many people are against same-sex marriage, but that law to pass to ban same-sex marriage came along with regulating interracial marriage. I am a product of an interracial marriage.
Right.
Many of us are.
Wow.
That was going to be happening. So when that passed and interracial marriages are protected as well, I felt I did my part for the American government, the American people. Forget the first part I said, but for the American people. So when they passed another law to umbrella-wise put out money for Taiwan, Ukraine, and Israel, they found a way to get money to Israel when one law didn't work or one thing didn't pass, bill.
This is, I mean,
the little things on the side, man.
Yeah, they
in this day and age,
very sneaky like that. They're very sneaky like that. And there's 1,000 loopholes that they will go through to get what they want. I mean, literally, like they'll create loopholes if they can't find any. I mean, again, my expectations for the government have been low for a long time. I've always leaned on the side of, not trusting the government since
it took me a while. I was very like, yo, Joe, I love G.I. Joe. That's the dream. I want America to be a real life G.I. Joe, but instead we're Cobra.
Oh yeah, unfortunately. I mean, Well, like even as I've always been like a CM Punk type of guy, you know. Like, I have never gotten along with authority. I've never really gotten along with people in positions of power because, to me, I always feel like human beings are. You can't give human beings that much power because it's just like inherently, you know, when you get, you know, when you're, especially when you're born into that kind of power, like I can see if it's someone who is like, you know, like grassroots, like really grassroots, not, you know, there were secret lobbyists around them the entire time. I see if someone like, you know, really grassroots came from nothing, you know, turned into something. I mean, even those guys kind of get into that power vortex, but I feel like we have these older people as well. I mean, a lot of them were alive when segregation was acceptable. So it's like, you know, they're making the laws, they're deciding the laws for people that are much younger than them, you know, and are going to inherit this country when they're gone. And especially they're deciding laws that I really don't feel like they should have any authority over, like deciding what a woman can do with her body. I'm just like, why does a 70-year-old man have that kind of power over, you know, the rest of the country?
I even like to make the argument, why are men voting on that anyways?
Right,
I think we should leave that entire vote to women.
Yes, exactly. Like
we shouldn't have a vote at all. That's what I'm saying.
They have no...
Let the women decide. I'm totally cool with that.
Exactly, because there's no... I mean, like, isn't that like a conflict of interest to have a man voting on abortion rights? I mean...
Like, I think that's sexist, despite what anyone believes.
Like,
you know,
is that not,
we're still
like,
telling
strange?
Like men are still dictating over women. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, yeah,
yes, exactly. It's like, are you sure that should be allowed? And they're, you know, another thing they like to do is they like to pass these bills and, you know, do these sneaky things like sending funding to this and that. They like to do this under the guise of something else happening. So while the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing was going on, they were really pushing to get you to go after Roe v. Wade, and
also take eyes off of Ukraine too.
Yes, exactly. And around the time that trial started, well, what do you know? The trial's over, and what do you know? As we're you know, we're all focused on. I mean, it's like a movie, right? Two actors arguing in court. Come on. Are you serious?
After the real stuff is done.
Exactly. Are you serious? And then, oh, what do you know? Roe v. Wade overturned. Oh. Well, who could have saw that coming? I did. I was watching it happen. I wasn't worried about this.
I feel your pain, brother. I feel you. I could not fathom that. I was like, okay, this is definitely a huge distraction.
Right. Like, and they love to do that. They love to do that. It's like every time the world's attention on something else, that's when the U.S. government is like, all right, now it's our turn. It's like these. I mean, I'm telling you, man. These, like, you have not seen anything yet as to how deep the U.S. government, I mean, does. Just how deep they can go into their manipulation tactics, into, you know, pulling the strings, especially of foreign countries. When it comes to foreign entities, the U.S. government is like, oh my God, let me get into that right now. Let me get a piece of that right now. Why do you think they want Israel to succeed? Because, like you said, they profit off of that, and it gives them another foreign entity to control.
And that is a specific strategic area to have your military operations close to the Middle East. Exactly. I mean, we got military operations in South Korea. Yes. Some in Japan were scattered around. So if they could be here and here at the same time, then they could bully more Arab nations.
Yes.
It's like plain as day. And back on to rewind a bit on that woman's choice. I don't believe any of that now if it's like pro-life, because look at how they're okay with so many children being targeted.
Yeah, we're pro-life.
White phosphorus salts in neighborhoods, dropping bunker bombs, not just any bomb, a bunker bomb on an apartment at night when everyone is sleeping. What's the strategy there for self-defense? And then, they raid Al Shifa Hospital, do all these little dumb videos of like cutting open a bear to reveal weapons. And notice, there's no give. The bear just kind of like, it's so pre-cut. And then they're like, look, there was a grenade in there. So you're telling me a little kid is playing with the teddy bear and there's an active C4 packs of weapons and grenades in there? Come on, man. And then the weapons that they brought out was like, 1/3 of a very well-armed Texan home. And then later on, the official report came that they didn't find anything. So what were those videos? It's like, and then they're like, we're on to the next thing. You'll be distracted by how many other people we're killing here, running bulldozers through camps, drones flying around now from India, and just, dropping bombs on people. Civilians in camps in the areas that they said go to be safe. And it's a copy paste thing. Now here's another thing. I don't know if you like Trump or anything, but he is a smart man in the sense that, and this is what I don't like about hardcore supporting any politician, but especially him. He said he would run as Republican when asked if he would ever run as president, because he said Republicans will follow anything. And then seeing how many diehard Trump supporters are out there, I was like, yo, he just called it.
Yeah. You
guys are willingly being his bitches.
Yeah.
Proudly. Now, Israel is from my buddy Hamad from Qatar. He was telling me how they get a different side of Israel. They advertise the fact that they can fool Americans to do their bidding. Like that is an advertised theme in the Middle East, because they don't care what Middle Easterns think, because they know that Americans are Islamic as hell. And but they advertise to them that they could fool Americans to do their bidding. So back on that, knowing that and seeing people willingly be a fool and willingly be like doing the bidding that they do, it's like, wow, it's like you guys are openly falling into their hands with it's again, they're being the bitch to them.
Exactly.
And I say that very non-gender, by the way. I'll make a video of that, people know. But yeah, I just mean as coward, and it's non-gender anyways for everyone. Everyone could be a bitch in coward ways. But yeah, it's like you're willingly accepting being the fool that they have pamphlets for that we realized like 2 months ago.
Well, look, everyone laughs at the West anyway, so I mean, I think the secret is out that these guys are, that our country is very easy to manipulate, very susceptible to propaganda, and especially very susceptible when you throw around words like anti-Semite and stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, that's a label. I can't be seen as an anti-Semite. That's bad. So I guess Israel is right, because if they're not right, then I'm an anti-Semite. And they know how, Americans are, and especially they know that their presidents, plural, past, present, are basically working in the interest of foreign entities, working with foreign entities to influence. I mean, we've seen it influence elections in other countries, influence, power structures in other countries, colonize other countries. I mean, even the land that we're on now today, where did that come from? Come on, how did we get that?
Yeah.
I wonder how. I wonder what that is.
Even Thanksgiving was dedicated to the slaughter of 900 Sioux Indians. And all Abraham Lincoln did was say, we're going to celebrate on the last Thursday of every month of November.
It's the bread and butter of America. That's colonizing. It's the bread and butter of America. That's why they like to insert themselves into these foreign countries, into these foreign conflicts, into, assisting in genocide, especially if it benefits them. And, the situation in Ukraine as well. America, I mean, I feel like they're just as complacent in this as Israel is.
I have a theory, and we can put this as conspiracy theory or whatever. But before this conflict got really heavy, I did notice around the COVID times to now, on certain news channels, they would advertise New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every channel that had that was tied to a government in support of Israel. Now, I'm thinking, what if the end goal of this racist utopia wasn't accomplished in Britain, wasn't accomplished in America, because people fought for civil rights and equal rights? What if the goal is to make the terrorist state of Israel that utopia that they always wanted?
Mm.
And because all the New World Order people tend to be the ones that are being bought over by the lobbyists in favor of this Zionist regime.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking. What I'm seeing with all this stuff.
You're bringing me back, man, to my days of conspiracy. You're bringing me back. That's deep. I
don't want to be sucked down. You go too down to the hole, you might reach hell, and I don't want to be there, man. I'm trying to go to heaven. So,
I don't even think that's a conspiracy, man. I think it's reality. I think it is reality.
That's what all the lines connected looks like, and it makes that star symbol, and it's like, whoa, there's the New World Order right there. Everyone's guilty. It's like you discovered who Shadow Lu is at the end of Street Fighter. It's like, oh, there you are.
Again, it's not a coincidence there's so many parallels between the Nazis and what's going on today. I mean, it's not a coincidence. I mean, they specialize in propaganda. They like to gaslight. They like to try to justify their actions by saying, "Oh, well, we were acting in self-defense. It was nothing we could do. We did what we had to do."
And bring the hostages home when they've refused every hostage exchange except the one that happened during a ceasefire. And what they do, they released Israeli hostages and they released Palestinian hostages, but no one ever talks about the thousands and thousands of Palestinian hostages that they have. That bothers me too. All hostages should be released.
Yeah.
And then what do they do after release 117 Palestinian hostages? They abduct 116 more in the next 4 days afterwards, which I also covered on my channel on Instagram. It's like, people, this is all happening in plain sight. Even following Israeli news, you can get the up and ups on this. Except you get the narrative that,
they want
Palestinians all terrorists or animals and they all must be killed. That's the only thing you get on top of it. But you just get the justification for all the war crimes that they're blatantly doing. And I'm feeling like a broken record.
Look, it's like it's so. I will never lose my spirit in fighting for this, but I guess from a moral standpoint, it's like it's so demoralizing to that this has to continue like this, to watch this happen and to watch, because we like I said earlier, I don't understand what the disconnect is, because I thought that we were all on the same page. I thought we were all against this kind of stuff. I thought we were all against. I mean, we spent like the last 8 years, calling Donald Trump a Nazi and a racist, and we spent 8 years speaking out against stuff like that. And now that we're seeing actual Nazi ideology, actual Nazi tactics in the 21st century. It's like a lot of us are just like, oh well, this conflict is more complicated. It requires a lot of analysis, and there's two sides to every story, and there's bad things on both sides, and oh my God, are you serious? Are we not against all the things that we've claimed to be against all these years before? All the times we have stood up against racism, genocide, injustices, military
oppression
military
of people.
brutality. Yes, exactly. All these things we have been against for years. And now it is right in front of us. And for a vast section of people, it is just hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Oh, well.
I guess that solves it. It's all gone. It's not real, right?
Well, okay. Well, hey. And like you said, to me, they're cowards to me. The people who also don't want to take a stance on this, they're cowards because either you support that or you don't. I don't think there is a middle ground. I'm sorry. I just don't think there is.
No, I agree with you. There's no middle ground.
You can't look at this and have zero feelings. I don't believe it. I just don't buy it. There's no way you look at what's going on and you just have nothing to say. Well, I'm not educated on it. You don't have to be educated on it.
You don't have to be educated to know that shooting children is bad.
Yeah. You don't have to be. You don't.
Bombing families is bad. How is it a political opinion?
Yes, exactly. It's not an opinion. You don't have to be a historian on this. You don't have to be able to discern the entire history of the conflict. You see it happening. There's no way you do not have feelings on. There's no way you do not feel. If you're a good person, there's no way you don't feel disgust. There's no way you don't feel demoralized. No way you don't look at this and go like, this is terrible. This is awful. This is a human atrocity happening in the 21st century on like very not dissimilar to what happened in the 1940s and 1930s. And there's just so many people. I don't get it. I don't get it, especially on Twitter, because Twitter is supposed to be like this. Twitter, they're supposed to be standing up against stuff like this, right? They're supposed to be standing up against injustices. It's supposed to be a very, very progressive community, progressive website on Twitter. And I feel like a lot of them are showing their asses now because they're just like, oh, it's, this is a very complicated and very complex conflict. And, I feel like that the violence, there's some very bad things happening on both sides. And I feel like if you don't condemn Hamas, blah, blah. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Is this terrible or is it not? Do you support this or do you not support this? Are you a Zionist or are you not? Are you standing for what Israel is doing or are you not? That is all we want to hear. And for most people, they cannot answer that straight. I don't get it. I don't get it. I see Piers Morgan. People ask him all the time, do you condemn what is happening? And then he gives them a word salad. Okay, so you don't condemn it.
Because it's a pretty plain... Okay, it's like any school shooting. How do you feel about the school shooting?
Terrible.
There you go. This is a school shooting on a massive scale. You don't hear people going, well, see, the shooter had a point, though. No, that never happens. Never. It's how horrible this is.
It's like, oh, well, you got to see things from the shooter's perspective, like,
oh,
we don't have to see anything from the shooter's perspective because we know he's done this terrible thing and the ends, nothing justifies it. Like there's no justification for it. And again, just like sexual assault. Like if someone is sexually assaulted, oh well, we have to see it from their point of view. We have to see their side of the story. Maybe to be fair, to the rapist. Like no, there is no being fair to the aggressor in this scenario. I'm sorry. It's just you can't do that. You can't say that, and you can't do what Israel does, and then say, oh well, in our defense. What defense? There is no self-defense. There is, and just because, oh well, it says in the Bible that this is our land. Wow. That sounds a lot like another dictator from the last century who liked to use textbooks to justify what he did. I wonder who that guy was. And
even in the clip I played earlier, the guy mentioned that he was told of the the higher people or the God-given people, even back then with the Nazi thing, just like you said.
Right.
And if this is really faith-based of a land that God promised them, why do they have to steal it and kill for it?
Exactly.
Where's the faith?
Like, where is that in God's
You got to
plan?
take it. Does God require such human sacrifice for God to give it to you? Now, I'm not insulting anything here. That's just a very, very taking God's name in vain, in my opinion, to the max.
Yeah.
People don't understand. It's not just cursing. It's using divine reasons to hurt people and do things that are against the 10 commandments, you know?
Yeah, you're weaponizing.
Don't bear false witness of your neighbor. Don't steal. Don't kill. All that is crucial in building this disgusting empire.
Exactly, because at what point are you weaponizing the Bible to your holy textbook to justify the slaughtering of these people? I mean, like you said, if the land was God-given, where then does it say you have to slaughter and you have to eviscerate an entire group of people to get back this land? I don't remember reading that part. I don't know.
I've read the Bible twice. I couldn't find that scripture detailing that at all.
Maybe I'll have to go back and maybe it's in like another language. Oh, wait, it doesn't exist because it was never said in the Bible. Oh, okay. My bad. Well, there goes that one out the window. So what else do you guys have for us? Self-defense doesn't work. The divine intervention doesn't work. What else is it? Well, you have nothing left. So in other words, there's no reason why you're slaughtering these people. There's no reason why you're committing genocide on a mass scale. You just woke up one day and you felt like being an evil piece of shit, and now you want power, you want money, you want infrastructure, you want industrialization, you want to colonize this area. So now you don't care who you slaughter to get to that. You don't care how much blood is on the streets for you to get your little utopia. Okay. Well, see, now we're speaking the truth. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it. Great.
It's all there, man. It's all there. And we don't even have to dig far. It's from the actions and statements and the evidence and the excuses and the propaganda we've all seen in the last 4 months, and it's plain as day. So really, it comes down to how many people are courageous and how many are cowards. How many have hate? How many have love? It really comes down to the moral ethics, and that's why I always had this issue with leadership, because I always hope to find someone of ethical background rather than something military or business or just economic, because we're surrounded by what we hope and believe is a lot of smart people over at the White House and everything to help someone with wisdom, but I just feel like maybe that's just in the stories we read, man. It's disheartening there.
You're thinking someone like a Gandhi type character, like a philosophical type of character.
They would be great, but they keep shooting those guys.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I wonder why they do that too. I mean, because we know, and like the FBI. I don't know, like the FBI tweeting about MLK. You guys are the reason he's dead. You guys killed him. You guys killed him because he spoke up against this kind of stuff. And you guys had him assassinated. So that's what government. That's another thing governments like to do. Isn't that great? And I agree with you though. I mean, we're talking about all these people who have they're so good with the economy. Oh, they understand business. And I was on that train years ago too.
I'm guilty as well, man.
And I'm just like, do we really need that right now? Or do we need someone who is empathetic? We need someone who cares about people. Because I feel like that's what we need. We need someone who cares. And they
all say they do, though, but then we see the actions or lack of.
Yeah, we need someone from, an ethical background. I actually agree. I definitely agree with that. Because as the way it stands now, what do presidents care about? Oil? Ooh. Oil.
We need more of it because we gotta stay in the game from this electric business, which requires a lot of lithium, which requires a lot of mining. So let's go down to the Congo and give them a hard time and genocide them because, you know, a lot of futuristic stuff needs some batteries. It gets worse. Sudan, Yemen, ladies and gentlemen, they're protecting their waters. Okay, I know we protect our airspace. You have to get permission to use our airspace. Yeah. So when they have authority in their own waters and they're like, no, you can't do that, we bomb them for that? A poor country? And then these badasses, though, did you hear their response? They're like, hey, you guys, we thought you guys were going to leave us out and killing everybody. God bless the Yemen, man. But, yo, do you have anything last you want to add, man? I think I'm just going to wrap this up and save it for my next video when I could show clips and stuff and react.
I think we got right down to the meat and potatoes of it. I think we've cracked the code, brother. For anyone who was either too ignorant or too unwilling to understand what is being said here, well, watch this and hopefully you understand.
I invite everyone to check out my Instagram that is shadow banned as hell and just scroll through, pick videos, watch stuff, but not just use that as a source of information. Use that as a lily pad to hop over and do some research. You will find a plethora of information that's been documented for 70 plus years. And I pray your intelligence and empathy will speak louder than ego and prejudice. And I pray that we all really aren't free until everybody is free. Yeah. And I just want them to have equal rights and leave them alone, rebuild their land, and let them live freely in the land that they live in. They already have lost so much. You see the map of how big Palestine was before. Don't believe me? Watch one of the early Indiana Jones movies. When he's flying over, it says Palestine right there. Or again, a really old 18th century, 17th century Bible. It shows Palestine right there. You can see how much little they have with Gaza and West Bank. Let that be free. It'd be wonderful if we could take back and give back, but at this point, the best thing to do is let them be free. Don't occupy them anymore. That's what freedom is. Let them have their land and help them rebuild everything that was destroyed, vandalized, murdered, and raped from them.
Please leave them alone. I mean,
yeah,
it costs nothing to leave them alone.
Right? They're already rich with what they have. This is horrible and greedy. So that's all I have to say for now until I make another one of these. But yo, I want to thank you so much for just, on the fly coming here, man, helping me get out what I want to say. And you help me get out even more what I want to say. Eloquently. You're very smart, man. And I appreciate you. And God bless you, dog. And all you, show my brother love, like his, follow his stuff and content. He'll always give you something good and passionate. And I thank you for watching this, listening, and all that good stuff. And if you come in the comments with any hatred, I monitor that shit, so it's not happening. I've already had delete comments where people, I shared a video on my reels about some protests, and someone sent comments like, "Ooh, I see a bunch of shooting targets." And I looked him up, and he has a bunch of stuff with all his guns shooting stuff. I've had people make comments about, I want to read this one. Racial stuff too. It's very horrible. But anyway, someone said, oh, here it is. And I screen captured it because I can only get it from my computer because it's on this thing. And there, someone replied to a video there. You can see a little bit, and I'll read it for you. He replied, "Palestinian lives don't matter, you fucking beaner. Go back to Mexico, asshole." That was my most beloved fan mail I've ever gotten. But that's the opposition we're dealing with. So I just feel people who are against people wanting to be free. There's no gray area, like you said. They're just exposing themselves.
None.
Yeah. And thank you for another episode of Swing By.
Thank you, guys.
And God bless, and may we have free Palestine and freedom in the world. And yeah, God bless. Whatever.